Kion immediately puts his hand on his sword and gets ready to attack. Carmen notes that she doesn't want to create any sort of trouble in a foreign land such as this one. Balzac says that, if she wishes, she can take care of things in such a way that nobody would notice. Carmen notes that for nobody to notice, his head would need to stay on his shoulders. However, it is worth considering at least that someone from the Lionhearts wants to harm the prestige and honor of the main family. That is entirely just speculation though, as they couldn't figure out anything using torture and magic, which seems to neat. That is why she's suspecting him first and foremost. Balzac apologizes for misspeaking, but he has told them already, countless times in fact, that it wasn't him, as he has not a single reason to do this for. Carmen says that she believes him. But what about the incubus, who tried to make a contract with Iode? As it's not a pleasant sight at all. She has seen plenty of disgusting and downright cruel things in her life, with one of those things being in front of her right now. Balzac notes that if she insists, she will receive what she wishes. He summons a dark hand that pulls out the head of the incubus. Balzac explains that the demon king of incarceration took his soul, and if they really want, she can have this. Balzac drops it, and she kicks it so hard blood splatters on him. With that they go back, but not without warning Balzac first. If he ever contacts Eugene Lionheart, there will be hell to pay. Balzac notes that the only person who is allowed to control his actions and desires is the demon king of incarceration. So even if she's a Lionheart, she has absolutely no right to tell him what to do. While they walk away, Carmen asks Kion what he thinks really happened, as she suspects Amelia Merwin, as she's somebody who despises the Dark Magic Tower Master position and all it entails. The Demon King of Incarceration lets the Dark Mages contracted to him to do whatever they wish to, so he doesn't need to intervene when his underlings quarrel like this either. Kion says that if Amelia did all of this, wouldn't Nahama be behind it as well? Carmen explains that Nahama is also quite suspicious, and a war will probably break out in a few years. The most likely first target of this war would be Turath, as Nahama has always had issues with it. Keel will have to prepare for war once all of this happens, and the Lionhearts will also be called forwards for the preparation. Kion notes that Amelia probably did all of this with that in mind, and Carmen says that it could also just be an isolated incident with no real conspiracy behind it. She also asks what would have happened if she didn't overlook Balzac's clear provocation earlier, and Kion says that if they fought him right there and then, everyone, excluding her, would have died. Carmen notes that he's quite humble, and he explains that he's not really fit to fight mages. She notes that she's the one who's not confident. That is why they haven't fought him. Iode will remain under watch, as a Black Lion has already been dispatched to Theoni's residence. They won't kill him considering that he's a part of the main family. But next time, he might no be so lucky. Iode will live the rest of his days under close watch, and naturally, his right to be the patriarch has been nullified and forgotten. Also, Theonis is looking for someone adept in magic to teach him, but you're just going to let that happen, as if someone is behind all of this. They may try go get in touch with him soon enough. Kion thinks of Iode, and how much he loved magic when he was young, how it fascinated his still untrained mind. What happened for him to get into dark magic like this? The next day, they get ready to leave, but not before Seal and Kion say goodbye to Eugene. Carmen turns to him and asks what he thinks about joining the Black Lion Order, as the 2nd Division captain's subordinate position is empty now, so if he wants, he can recommend him right this instant. Eugene refuses instantly, and she notes that it's a real shame. With that, they drive away, and Eugene asks Roberian why the Malekith didn't come to send them off, as she's the White Magic Tower Master. Roberian explains that she would have been the first here to brag if the contract was successful, but it seems that she's running into some issues with it right now. At her residence, she pours all of her mana into the sword while butt-booty naked, which she seems quite displeased with, to say the least. She damns Tempest for not responding, as she already sent a message to the spirit world, and is also not heating up her body for maximum sensitivity, while also being naked. She tries to summon him once again, and that's lighting comes out of the sky. King of the Lighting Spirits, Levin, arrives with a message from the Wind King. He told her to shut up already, as he doesn't want to form a contract with her. She starts spewing thins about being the greatest in the world, and starts swinging the sword around, which Levin finds quite shameful. He sighs, and electrocutes her enough to stop her from going mad. He explains that she cannot give what Tempest wants, as the hurricane wishes you to move northward. the northern region of the demon realm that nobody was able to conquer, a wish he has not been able to forget for centuries. The next day, she looks like an old granny as she comes next to Eugene, who is quite confused that she aged so fast. He asks how the contract went, and she urges him to not do that, as he knows clear as day what happened. She starts screaming about Tempest, damning him for everything. Myrrh, who was there, has had enough, and tells her that this is a place for silence. But Malekith is going straight crazy at this point. Eugene asks if Tempest really blew her off like that, and she asks why she would like about such an important thing to her. Eugene explains that if they wait until today, it will be 10 years of lending, so he will be nice, and call it 9 years if he gives back Wyniad now. She reluctantly does so, and urges him to take great care of her cape. Eugene goes back to his reading, where he finds out the chief of the giants, Kamish, was extremely huge. He was hundreds of years old, and the strongest chief in all giant history. Thousands of humans against hundreds of giants, which weren't that few, as none of the soldiers wanted to fight something that could kill them with their step. But the soldiers didn't matter, as Vermouth was there. The knight who thought they were powerful came and spouted some nonsense in introducing themselves, which nobody really cared about. They wanted to fight together with him, but all of them combined wouldn't make a dent in Kamash's toe. Vermouth had only one person who could fight alongside him, and whom he depended on: Hamel. They were ready to fight the deadly giants, and Vermouth was successful in defeating Kamash, who was as powerful as a demon king. Even with their leader dead, the giants did not turn back, and still wanted to end humanity. However, Senya showed them true power. Eugene asks if Senya wrote this book, as it has too much praise regarding her, is all. Mare notes that this is an insult to her, as who would write a story about themselves and praise their own name like this? He gets up, as he wants to try reading witchcraft again. Mare is glad, but he is too arrogant for the level he is currently at. Eugene notes that he likes succeeding in difficult tasks, even if it takes him a while. He gets to witchcraft, and thinks that it's impossible for him to recreate the eternal whole now, as he would need at least 9th circle. It's a great circle that holds circles that are infinitely increasing in power, and one can rotate it, destroy it, recreate or even increase their mana. But he doesn't use a circle, as he uses the white flame method to create a substitute. But if he can add one more ring inside of that ring made by the stars. What he learned in his past life was some cheap mana training used by common soldiers. He added to that with his experience, and Senya helped as well. That is how Hamel created his own mana training method. Grow the core, and repeatedly explode the mana that makes the core. Spread the mana that's been sped up around the body. With that, Hamel was successful in even damaging Kamash. He remembers his comrades, especially Senya, who thought that this method is garbage, but his level did increase quite a bit. He looks over the eternal whole, as he doesn't pass out anymore by looking at it. He can actually feel it too, meaning that he can do it. Eugene Lionheart will recreate this whole by using the white flame method. 2 years pass, and Eugene turned 19. Eugene's 19th summer was spent writing his thesis. Myrrh, who is on the other side of the table from him, asks if he's not hungry, as it's almost time to eat. Eugene says that he will be having some food shortly, as if he leaves now, he will lose all concentration on what he is writing. Mare asks why he is such in a hurry while writing in the first place, and Eugene explains that it's much better to write slowly, so there are no mistakes made. It just feels more right. He is also not rushing himself, and making sure he doesn't make any mistakes, while also revising constantly. But he hasn't made many mistakes. He is just paying close attention to what he is writing, that is all. Mare notes that mages complete a thesis about magic over entire decades of their lives. Eugene in turn says that it didn't take him decades to learn magic, so why should be like them? Mare gets up, and notes that this is precisely it. It is very arrogant for him that he is already writing a thesis. He should just quit that, and concentrate on just learning for at least a few more years, then write his thesis. Eugene notes that she is being quite shy, and she urges him to not cross that line, as she has already told him countless times to not refer to her that way. She has lived for at least 200 more years than him, so she demands at least some respect. Eugene calls her a shy little Grandma Mare, which makes her wonder if she should just kill him and be done with it. Later, Eugene asks if she doesn't want him to leave, and she is a little shy to say. Eugene explains that he has come and gone here for 2 years, Yet he is the only one who still comes here on the regular. Mare notes that is pretty obvious, even to the untrained eye, as other mages already saw witchcraft a long time ago. The mages who witnessed it were amazed and shocked to their fiber, and desperately tried to analyze and understand it fully. However, in the end, they all failed to do so and gave up, instead trying to complete their very own magic. But he has come to Acreon every day for 2 years straight, and tried to understand witchcraft to the best of his abilities. Is he really going to leave Aeroth once his thesis is completed? Eugene asks what else he could do here if he didn't, and Mare explains that he can do a myriad of things. She doesn't know exactly when the Red Magic Tower Master will retire, but she's quite certain he would gladly take him on as his successor.